Exclusive contract from Feilu Novel Network Novel. City. My phone connects to all worlds. Chen Huang edited a software called Heart Love. Unexpectedly, strange registration information came one after another. Apocalyptic beauty entrepreneur. The Three Realms Emperor. The world of evil gods. Demon Lord. Ancient fairy. Marvel Iron Man. In the wilderness, Sun Wukong. Chen Huang rolled his eyes due to the prank and replied directly. Laozi, the heavenly emperor of the wilderness, embodies a sense of freedom and holds the river of time in his hands. When reply messages flood the phone, Chen Huang was overwhelmed. No, are you all real? How could I save the world just by making friends? Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. 1. The End of the World. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. A disheveled hair with blood-stained forehead, half of the face covered with a cloth. The exhausted woman's eyes were bloodshot, but it was evident that she was a peerless beauty. Is that impossible? Chen Huang was extremely shocked. He actually knows this person. Looking at her self-introduction again. Wukong.Chen Huang, the youngest billionaire entrepreneur by the end of 2032. Chen Huang blinked and scratched his head. How could this be possible? It's completely unreasonable. Why doesn't it make sense? Because registration for love requires real name authentication. The core selling point of this software is authenticity. Chen Huang was originally a programmer for a software company. But he didn't have time to hand over this software to the company before being laid off. What's going on? How did the software I wrote mutate inexplicably? Wukong.Chen, the daughter of Wukong, is the richest man in this city. And she is also known as the #1 beauty in Jinling City. It's 2023 now, she's 19 years old and studying in college. These are not important. The key is 9 years from now, the end of the world. Will the end of the world come? Hiss. Chen Huang took a cold breath and deduced all of this. This joke is a bit big. That's ridiculous. But this software requires real name registration. Chen Huang is also very clear. She is such a wealthy and beautiful woman, registering for love with the aim of attracting his attention. I'm afraid it's more reasonable than the possibility of the apocalypse. So, Chen Huang sent a message to Wukong.Chen. Hello, Miss Wukong, do you live in the apocalyptic world? If you need help, please let me know and I can provide some survival supplies. Following her character design, Chen Huang sent a rather sinister greeting. The doomsday beauty named Wukong.Chen has not yet replied. Maybe others are just bored and just register something casually. Chen Huang didn't care either, he continued to click on the next avatar. Ding! The phone vibrates. This time it's even more unbelievable. Long Miao Miao, female, age unknown, the largest emperor in the Three Realms. Self-introduction. Invincible for 100,000 years, lonely, empty, and cold. Please come and kill me. Seeing this, Chen Huang took a cold breath. The apocalypse is already bizarre enough, I didn't expect it to become even more extraordinary in the future. Cultivation. After unifying the three realms, he becomes an emperor, invincible in both heaven and earth. Life expectancy. Much longer than you. Hobbies. Kill you. Universal characteristics. Rolling. Birthplace. Ask again to kill you. Talent. Even with saliva, it can kill you. Do you mind if the other person is immortal? Mind you. Chen Huang couldn't help but laugh, feeling that this girl who loves to read fantasy novels is full of flaws. Everyone has become the heavenly emperor, and their personality is still so irritable. It's really, it's interesting. Chen Huang muttered, but accidentally saw her self-introduction write a long paragraph. The heavenly way. 10,000 years without any movement, are you a turtle? 30,000 years have passed, and my emperor has already dominated the three realms. Why hasn't there been a heavenly pride who can compete with my great emperor? Are all the current Tianjiao useless? What are the people who have challenged me for these 30,000 years? A bunch of trash. Sorry, kill a few immortals. Then I woke up again. Why is the way of the day still unchanged? Is it just a glowing pillar? It's too annoying. The three realms have no secrets to me, the great emperor. The only thing left is the core of the heavenly way that I don't understand, as if it can connect beyond the three realms. Hello, is anyone there? Who saw this sentence? The first responder, this emperor swore to marry him. The three realms are really finished. Is anyone there? How many years have passed? This damn heavenly way hasn't changed at all, I'm almost annoyed. 50,000 years. 100,000 years. Sleep until 100,000 years later. I swear, if someone sees this sentence but doesn't respond, I will kill them. For 100,000 years, the Dragon Emperor has completely fallen into madness. Chen Huang looked amused, and the setting of this great emperor, named Long Miao Miao, was simply extremely interesting. She became invincible after becoming the heavenly emperor. After being invincible, I feel lonely and lonely. Lonely, I can only talk to the heavenly Tao and leave a message. She wanted to cultivate the arrogance to challenge her, but none of them turned out to be her opponents. Invincible in the world, and with no secrets to her in the three realms, the Dragon Emperor became increasingly irritable. She even swore to marry the first person to contact her. However, after waking up for tens of thousands of years, she changed her oath and decided to kill the first person who contacted her. Long Miao Miao. Chen Huang found it amusing and sent her a message with a smile. Long Miao Miao, I saw you, but can you marry me? 2. The grand finale of Dream of the Red Chamber. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. Beyond the universe, unknown places. Located on the top of the three realms, Tiandi Mountain is a peerless formation. The Empress Juechen, who made countless supreme beings in the three realms tremble with fear, is quietly sleeping. Although she is only 15 or 16 years old in appearance, her head is leaning against a pillar that is completely open to the sky and earth. Her face is cute and charming, with a slightly round face. But if one didn't feel the mysterious aura emanating from the Tao, it would be difficult for anyone to associate her with the peerless empress who had been oppressed for 100,000 years. The power of Empress Juechen is so powerful that she has won the scepter of the heavenly way for countless years and proclaimed herself invincible to the world. She has now become the spokesperson of the heavenly way, and no one dares to challenge her. However, at this moment in the heavenly way that the Empress Juechen relied on, a mysterious radiance flickered slightly, trembling gently. A sentence emerged from the crystal-clear pillar core. Long Miao Miao, I see you, but I wonder if you can marry me. Within the three realms, the name Long Miao Miao has been unknown for 100,000 years. As for the fact that Empress Juechen actually had a marriage, Long Miao Miao did not respond, but it is understandable that she is too powerful. If she were invincible and lonely, she would sleep for tens of thousands of years. And in the city of Jinling on Earth, Chen Huang looked at his next friend. This looks relatively normal. Xia Wan'er, female, 16 years old, with ancestral roots in Yong'an County, Jiangnan, Zhao State. She studied in a private school and earned a monthly income of 40 taels of silver. Chen Huang gave a brief thought. Xia Wan'er's setting is an ancient lady, only 16 years old, belonging to the human race. The other party also kindly indicated the source, having received private school education in Yong'an County, Jiangnan, Zhao State. This setting is relatively normal. In modern society, it is not uncommon for girls to like Hanfu. Maybe she's the kind of beautiful girl who likes to wear historical costumes. However, there are also some aspects of Xia Wan'er setting that make Chen Huang feel puzzled. Talent. Unforgettable. Skilled in embroidery and poetry. Pride. Continuation of 40 chapters in Dream of the Red Chamber. I won't say much if I don't forget it at first glance. But the setting for the sequel to Dream of the Red Chamber made Chen Huanren unable to resist. Dream of the Red Chamber has been published for over 300 years, and it is unknown how many literati and scholars have read it. Some of them must have had the idea of writing a perfect ending for Dream of the Red Chamber. Even talented scholars like Gao Yi have been criticized for their continuation of the last 40 chapters, and are jokingly referred to as dog-tailed continuation ferrets by people. Chen Huan is a person who loves Dream of the Red Chamber, and can be said to be a so-called rheologist. Has Xia Wan'er also continued to write Dream of the Red Chamber? Hello Miss Xia. Chen Huan greeted her. I heard that you have continued to write Dream of the Red Chamber. Can you let me take a look? I am very interested. It depends on how she responds. The phone suddenly vibrated. Chen Huang looked at his phone screen and suddenly felt a bit dizzy. He never expected that the last 40 chapters of Dream of the Red Chamber were really posted. Unfortunately, after the other party finished posting Dream of the Red Chamber, the avatar went out, as if encountering some emergency situation. Are you fooling someone into spending so much money? Chen Huang muttered to himself and then clicked on Dream of the Red Chamber. As one of the 4 great classical novels, he has read Dream of the Red Chamber many times. Although I cannot write a sequel myself, at least I have some proficiency in reading. Ha! This is actually written with a brush. The paper is all ancient rice paper. This is like writing with a pen on paper and then capturing it with a camera. Such words are truly fragrant with ink and elements, and colorful pens give off fragrance. The handwriting is so good. From this perspective, there is indeed a level of elegance like that of a lady from a wealthy family. Chen Huang had to admit it and began to read carefully. Chapter 81. Chapter 82. Chapter 83. The sound of flipping pages resounds in the software. The sun outside the window began to set, and the sunset was like a waterfall, with clouds and clouds intertwined in the sky. The red sunset, with countless postures, is like a young girl fully showcasing her dance moves. Charming and beautiful, it is breathtaking. Chen Huang was completely immersed in it and read uncontrollably until the end. The development of the plot is completely different from Gao Yi's continuation. It's completely different from what I guessed before. I see. It's so exciting, it's unbelievable. He originally just wanted to flip through it casually, but now he is completely attracted. Seemingly unable to stop until the final outcome is reached. Bao Yu looked at the mountains and forests, smiled and shed tears, slowly reading. Chen Huang clicked on his phone and flipped to the last page. Surprisingly, it is a poem that serves as the final ending of Dream of the Red Chamber. The autumn is already deep as the trees fall into the mountains and the sky is empty. The rustling of the forest leaves no room for sound and dust. The wind and frost covered the ground without a trace of people. Ornamental column has been in the heart for thousands of years. This is really a good poem. Chen Huang was extremely excited. Chao Shuaqin is really a remarkable talent, he is so amazing. It's just that this talented person's later years are extremely desolate. Chen Huang couldn't help but sigh in his heart. It's a pity that the whole family ate congee and wine on credit, and even their son died later. Fortunately, he still left behind such a great work. No wonder it is said to be the most literary and artistic work of all time, it is truly an undisputed classic. Chen Huang lightly tapped the phone screen. The Dream of the Red Chamber is closed. Wait. Chen Huang suddenly widened his eyes. Isn't this special written by Chao Shuoqin? It was written by Xia Weiner. He quickly swiped his phone screen and a cold sweat surged in his heart. She wrote so well. Just now, immersed in it, he was convinced that it was Chao Shuoqin's work. This is too cult, isn't it? Chen Huang was a bit confused. Ding. Chen Huang once again clicked on the portrait of a woman next to him. In an instant, an inexplicable chill swept over my whole body. Free, Angel Glory. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. This stunning young girl is so beautiful that any female celebrity would pale in front of her. However, her neck was covered in black and strange lines, like withered branches and ferocious blood vessels. Nevertheless, her sky-blue eyes remained pure and beautiful, yet filled with tears of sorrow and sorrow. Her blood-red hands were clasped under her chin, as if praying for some kind of strength. When she prayed, she was emotionally agitated. May the great Lord give Ariana the correct guidance. Supreme Creator, please cast your gaze here. Your power is eternal and great, you are the embodiment of holiness. I pray for your response to Alina. Your gaze is kind and compassionate. If the bright continent is fortunate enough to receive your favor. Alina spoke many praises and sincerely prayed for the Creator's response. Based on her personal information. Alina, female, 121 years old, the holy maiden of the bright continent, the #1 beauty of the millennium. Wish. May the Lord come and eliminate evil spirits. Chen Huang was moved by her persona. From Alina's image, it seems that she has been infected by evil spirits, but this does not affect her stunning appearance in the slightest. She delivered a long prayer and praise, making it impossible to doubt her sincerity. It seems as if she is devoutly praying for a response from creators outside the world. This can be considered as understanding CSP. Sure enough, there is no most outrageous, only more outrageous. Hello, Alina. Chen Huang greeted her and really wanted to hear her story. Soon, he received a response. Are you a great, kind creator, or a corrupt, ugly? Her writing is intermittent. Chen Huang had a playful heart and candidly replied. I am the Emperor of the Wilderness, embodied in ease, holding the river of time in my hands, and being independent for eternity. Anyway, how to fill the cup? Wilderness. Embodied in ease. Holding hands for a long time. Dictatorship will last forever. Is this the creator claiming to be? The other party seems very excited. After a while, she continued to say. Thank you for the arrival of the Lord. I prayed for a long time. This place is polluted by evil gods. Supreme Creator, thank you for casting your gaze here. You are a holy, eternal, and noble existence, greater than the realm of gods, more fragrant than flowers, more beautiful than poetry, possessing infinite wisdom and power. Alina thanks the Creator for responding to her prayers and saving this world ravaged by evil gods. Chen Huang smiled and replied. Alright, you need a gift, right? I'll send you an angel's glory. Love, you can send various gifts, covering everything. Initially, Chen Huang included almost all the gifts on the market. The other party seems very shocked. I replied, unbelievable. Unimaginable, you. Great. This makes Chen Huang somewhat confused. He clicked the send button without hesitation. In an instant, the phone screen was bright. On the screen, a golden light shone brightly, and a divine kingdom suddenly appeared, hazy and beautiful. Then flew out a long-haired angel wearing a golden helmet, incredibly handsome. Wearing sparkling gold armor on the upper body, the lower body stands in the ethereal void. The angel opened his eyes, as if there was the destruction of the universe and stars in them. He held a golden long sword in his hand, and the sword energy cut through the space. Finally, he took the sword back to his side, and the special effect lasted for a full 5 seconds before disappearing. At the moment when Chen Huang sent it, a blurry voice came to his ears, as if from a distant world. Subsequently, the voice became clear and became a prayer. Great existence, your power runs through the endless sea of nothingness, landing at the Goddess of Light Church on the continent of light, blessed by a holy and pure light appeared in Chen Huang's field of vision. That is the golden light of angel glory, falling on a church stained with darkness. Chen Huang looked down, watching the pure light purify the twisted darkness. He vaguely saw the underground of the church, where a beautiful girl wrapped in thick chains was praying. She is beautiful and pure, singing elegant and holy praises in her mouth. The light shone on her, and the chains snapped. Is it really her? When she looked up, Chen Huang saw her face more clearly. It's indeed Alina. Her body is undergoing drastic changes, and the darkness is constantly being melted by the light. 4. Global Frozen. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. The young girl Alina regained her freedom. She has a slender figure and unparalleled beauty. At this moment, she knelt on the ground and worshipped Chen Huang with a devout and excited membrane. Supreme Creator, Wilderness, your power runs through endless time and space. Alina praises your true name, feeling the power you have bestowed, and purifying the soul polluted by evil gods. Alina will always be your most devout believer. May your radiance forever shine on the land of light, and may the evil gods completely perish. Radiance bloomed, and knights and bishops rushed over one after another. Their faces showed fear and panic, and they dared not approach the church. This was the last scene that Chen Huang saw, so illusory that he couldn't distinguish between true and false, and stood in the room for a long time. True and false intertwine, Chen Huang cannot distinguish clearly. Reason told him that everything just now was illusory. However, his senses told him that all of this truly existed in another world. The matter has reached this point, and Chen Huang has to believe it. And he has a way to prove it. Go find Wukong.Chen directly. She is the only human like him who lives on Earth. Her persona is equally eye-catching. 28-year-old, living in 2032, a beautiful entrepreneur who encountered a doomsday disaster and sent out a distress message. The room gradually darkened, and Chen Huang looked up at the sky outside. Let's go eat first. He briefly organized and went downstairs to a familiar dumpling restaurant. Xiaochen is here, is it still pork dumplings? The landlady is very enthusiastic. The business of this dumpling restaurant is very hot, mainly because the owner's wife is a beautiful widow, and nearby people call her Dumpling Shisha. Unfortunately, she still has a little girl with her. Uncle Chen. At this moment, a little girl ran over happily and greeted Chen Huang. Xiaoling, be good. Chen Huang gently stroked the little girl's hair. The girl is 14 years old and has already shown a beautiful appearance, very similar to the landlady. After about 5 minutes of touching, a bowl of hot pork dumplings was brought to Chen Huang. He found a corner and sat down, eating dumplings while opening his phone. Oh my, have you received a response? Chen Huang was somewhat surprised. That apocalyptic female entrepreneur actually sent him a message. Where are you? Can you help me? I'm at number 6 Xiangshan Villa in Jinling City. Hello, Miss Wukong.Chen, I am from 2023. Nice to meet you. Could you please tell me about the situation of the end of the world? It's a coincidence, but I am actually in Jinling City. Wukong.Chen quickly replied to the message. I don't know much about the apocalypse. About 4 months ago, the world was frozen, flora and fauna exploded, and humans died in large numbers. You said you lived in 2023. Can you help me? How did you get in touch with me? Chen Huang was directly shocked by this message. Is the world frozen? How could this be possible? He once again became suspicious of Wukong.Chen. Are you playing the role of a post-apocalyptic beauty entrepreneur while maintaining a false persona? The world is suddenly frozen, it's unbelievable. Chen Huang's suspicion may not be unreasonable. The temperature in the outside world is increasing day by day. When I was a child, it often snowed in winter, but now it rarely snows in the south. The greenhouse effect is becoming increasingly severe. The global furnace is actually more reasonable. However, precisely because all of this seemed unbelievable, Chen Huang became even more calm. The world is frozen, and the earth must be in chaos, right? The other party replied. Yes. She didn't explain too much in detail. Perhaps she has gone through too much and cannot come all the way. Or maybe she's already exhausted. Just a moment, I need to conduct an experiment. Chen Huang took out a small packet of cookies from the table, held it in his hand, and sent her a message. I'll send you a snack, and if you receive it. 5. Disruptive worldview. You are listening at novel full.audio. In 2032, the basement of Xiangshan Villa. The sanctuary of Murong-Tianin. She is the #1 beauty in Jinling City, only 28 years old but a frequent guest on the global youth rich list, with assets worth billions. However, these glamorous titles are of no use to her at this moment. She covered herself with a thick blanket and hid in the hidden wine room in the basement. The head retracted into the blanket, and the body trembled with fear. She gazed at the unfamiliar and strange social app on her phone screen. The news came from Chen Huang, who claimed to be giving her food from 2023. For Murong-Tianin, such a promise seems too absurd. Perhaps she is approaching death and gradually developing hallucinations. Thank you for adding the file transfer function when developing the software. Chen Huang chuckled. 1 minute has passed. Have you received it? Chen Huang stared at the suddenly disappearing snack in his hand for a full 3 seconds. His heart beats faster than Murong-Tianin, who received snacks. He was grateful that he was eating dumplings with his back to everyone at the moment, otherwise it would be completely unclear. Even if someone sees it, they will think they are dizzy. Chen Huang's worldview was completely overturned at this moment. He stared incredulously at his crush on the phone screen. A thought surged in his heart: could he go back and write an immortal software? Or a program that makes people invisible? Is it feasible to cultivate immortality? I received it. Thank you so much. Murong-Tianin sent several messages in a row, responding very anxiously. Chen Huang's mood was stirring, but also somewhat complicated. He comforted Murong-Tianin and said, "Don't worry, do you have water over there? I'll bring you a bottle." Murong-Tianin took a deep breath and hid under the blanket, replying, "Thank you very much. If you have any empty bottles, please bring them to me. I don't mind." For months have passed since the end of the world, and she is no longer the arrogant and indifferent Miss Murong she used to be. Don't worry. Chen Huang smiled and sent a message back, "I happen to be at a dumpling shop. Can I order you some dumplings?" Dumplings. Murong-Tianin suddenly felt a bit dazed. He hadn't heard the word for a long time, as if it only existed in legends. Pork filling, I wonder if you like it or not. I like it. I like it. Murong-Tianin's fingers trembled slightly as she replied. This is simply dreamy food. In the dumpling restaurant, Chen Huang finished the last dumpling and stood up to pay the bill. "Boss, please pay the bill and pack another bowl," he said. "Okay." Dumpling Shisher gave Chen Huang a charming glance. 5 minutes have passed. Chen Huang found a corner with few people and sent the dumplings over. Brush it a bit. A bowl of dumplings disappeared in an instant. If this scene were seen by a magician, they would definitely be surprised and lose their teeth. By the way, since it's the end of the world, your phone also needs to be charged, right? Do you still have electricity there? Has the earth frozen? Chen Huang is not curious about this, as no disaster film can truly depict the scene of the end. Chen Huang tapped his phone and turned to walk into the RT Mart supermarket. The power grid has long been crushed by ice and snow, and transportation between cities is almost completely paralyzed. Every material transportation requires a lot of manpower and resources. Wukong.Chen wolfed down 4 steaming dumplings. She dared not slack off at all and quickly replied to Chen Huang's message. 6. Take care of a billionaire rich woman. You are listening at novel full.audio. Currently, only human settlements have generators, but they can only be used on a small scale, mainly for maintaining basic communication. My generator doesn't seem to last long. It's okay, I will regularly send you a fully charged power bank, it's not worth it anyway. Chen Huang appeared very cheerful. Wukong.Chen is full of gratitude in her heart and thanks again. 10 minutes later, she received a steady stream of supplies sent by Chen Huang. Various foods made her feel ecstatic, and tears almost flowed from her eyes. Biscuits, bread, canned goods, candies, fresh fruits, orange juice, and instant noodles, as well as a large bottle of boiling water, almost scalded her. Thank you, Chen Huang. Wukong.Chen shed tears and kept thanking. She sat on a thick blanket, her hair messy and very disheveled. But tightly holding onto these life-saving supplies with both hands. After confirming that she was in the apocalyptic world, the man generously gave her a large amount of supplies, helping her regain hope for survival. No need to be polite. After the supermarket swept through, Chen Huang returned to the rental house, feeling complex in his heart. These supplies only cost him over 100 yuan. However, for Wukong.Chen, this is undoubtedly the straw that saved her life. You can eat first, eat slowly. Later, I want to ask you something in return for the supplies I just sent you. Is that okay? Well, you ask, I'll tell you everything I know. Wukong.Chen nodded in agreement, and her beautiful face once again burst into a shallow smile. She hasn't been so happy for a long time. After her parents passed away, she never smiled again. Even when facing others, she dare not show her true self. She is afraid of her outstanding appearance being scrutinized by others. The apocalypse puts humanity under extreme test. Chen Huang seems to be just an ordinary person, but miraculously saved Wukong.Chen from 2032. However, he didn't know what she looked like. Tear open the packaging of the instant noodles, pour in the seasoning, and then add hot water. Wukong.Chen held the instant noodle bowl in both hands, feeling the long-lost heat. Taking a gentle sip of the soup, warmth flooded into her heart. Global ice cover is an unusual phenomenon. If someone can end this disaster, perhaps that person can only be Chen Huang from 2023. Wukong.Chen hid in the dark basement, slowly enjoying instant noodles and continuing to converse with him. 4 months ago. The world where Wukong.Chen is located suddenly froze globally, with blizzards ravaging the world. Past organisms and plants die, and new mutated organisms emerge. Wukong.Chen carefully avoided the sight of others in the settlement and dared not reveal her identity. Until the end, she was attacked by a group of huge white mice and forced to flee back to her former home. As a girl, walking 5 kilometers in the darkness and cold, and persevering alone for so long, it's really impressive. Chen Huang expressed appreciation for her. During half a month of living in the basement, Wukong.Chen went out several times to search for a settlement. She experienced various dangers such as cold, ice and snow, hunger, darkness, and attacks from mutated creatures, which are unimaginable for ordinary people. It's nothing. With the supplies you gave me, I can live a few more days. It's just. Maybe I need your help. Wukong.Chen spoke cautiously, appearing somewhat embarrassed. However, her desire to survive forced her to rely on Chen Huang and pleaded with him to continue helping her. It's okay. Chen Huang smiled and answered her jokingly, raising a beautiful entrepreneur in the apocalyptic world costs 2 to 3,000 yuan per month. Wukong.Chen's face blushed slightly. Is this considered taking care of her? But in fact, it seems that this is indeed the case. I still want to thank you. Wukong.Chen's mood became better than ever before, and she showed a long-lost smile on her face. Chen Huang became her only hope for continued survival. For Chen Huang, a whole new world unfolds before him. He is filled with strong curiosity and is willing to spend some money to help Wukong.Chen. By the way, what is the end of the world like in your area? 7. Immortal Realm. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. It's very cruel here, if we can really meet. I'll invite you to come to my place. Wukong.Chen sent a smiling face. Okay. By the way, do you still want delicious food and clean hot water? Yes. Wukong.Chen bit her lips and accepted his gift with a slightly red face. Since it's making friends beyond time and space, it shouldn't be too much to accept gifts from friends, right? Chen Huang chatted with her for 2 hours. While chatting, I watched her fancy selfies. It has to be said that Bai Fumei, who comes from a wealthy family, looks really beautiful. Even without taking a shower for a long time, with messy hair and prolonged hunger and cold, Wukong.Chen's outstanding appearance cannot be concealed. Her facial features are very delicate, her nose is high and straight, her lips are plump, her lip shape is beautiful, her eyes are bright and lively, revealing a sense of firmness. If she hadn't met Chen Huang, perhaps she will leave the basement in a few days to search for a glimmer of hope, and will never sit idly by. Her basement is also very clean. 2 elastic mattresses were laid on the ground to isolate the cold, and thick blankets were placed on the mattresses. It can be seen that she usually turns off the lights and waits in the blanket. Such a state of mind is worthy of admiration. Suddenly, the love app lit up. Someone has sent a message again. Is Chen Gongzi a deity? He also likes ordinary people's dream of the red chamber. Looking at Xia Wan'er's news, Chen Huang couldn't help but laugh. Before he could reply, another long string of messages came over. Can iron blocks really fly into the air? Can iron boats float on the water? If the emperor is not here, whose family owns this world? I don't know how mysterious the 1,000-mile eye and following wind ear are. I hope the young master can reply. Do you also have the spring and autumn period and the warring states period over there, young master? In ancient times, the great sage of the Qin dynasty, Emperor Shi, unified the country for 200 years. After Qin, it was Han, and the country had 1,000 years of history. Up to now, the dynasty has been thousands of years away from the great holy emperor. The young woman has been lost in thought for tea and rice recently. She hopes that Lord.Chen, who is above the heavens, can answer her doubts. The young woman is extremely grateful. Your words are often offensive, I hope you can forgive me. Young master, can you stay? The little woman is eager to see through. Hello, Mr. Chen, are you there? Chen Huang couldn't help but think of these words in his mind, and he laughed uncontrollably. After receiving his previous message, the Xia lady couldn't resist her curiosity. I am eager to ask more about the Immortal Realm, which makes me feel lost in tea and rice. He just briefly talked about modern society before. Yes, Miss Xia, are you still there? To be honest, Chen Huang was a bit surprised. Has it been 10,000 years since the great holy emperor? Is Xia Wan'er's world without technological change, capitalism without sprouts, steam engines, industrial revolution, colonial waves, and so on? Didn't even show up. Chen Gongzi, the young woman is here. A message came, causing Chen Huang, who was typing, to be taken aback for a moment. Is the information synchronized? It seems like we can chat without any delay. Miss Xia, can you still see it now? 10 seconds later. A text with beautiful font from top to bottom replied. Young Master Chen, I can see it. Chen Huang took a closer look. This handwriting should not be the font available on the internet, but rather the characters handwritten by Xia Weiner and then sent over. The words she wrote herself. I guess it was written with a brush. It seems that in ancient times, pictures could indeed be posted. Chen Huang, who had communicated with Murong Tianyin, quickly figured it out. This is the ancient world where Xia Weiner lived, and sending pictures is a way of expression. Convert the text she wrote into images and then send them over. That is to say, Chen Huang saw the handwriting of an ancient world princess, who had continued to write the dream of the Red Chamber and was a talented woman. This character is indeed beautiful. Chen Huang appreciated it carefully and found it even more attractive. The characters written by the young lady of Zhao are very beautiful. Writing may be a bit rushed, with a hint of running script elegance. It reminds people of her using a fan to cover her mouth and nose, revealing a pair of curious eyes. Hello, Miss Xia. Chen Huang greeted her, which was quite formal. After all, this is their first real-time chat. 8. What is Miss looking at? You are listening at novel full.audio. Chen Gongzi, hello. Zhao Guo. Yong'an County, outside the city, Hongye Mountain. This mountain is hundreds of meters high and has beautiful scenery. On the mountaintop, there is the Hongye Temple, where a renowned monk with boundless Buddhist teachings once appeared. The eminent monk was originally unknown and enjoyed planting red maple trees. He lived in seclusion here for 100 years. Plant this tree all over the mountain, it looks like a flame mountain from a distance. This place has also become a good place for people from Yong'an County to travel in spring and autumn, burn incense and worship Buddha, and travel together. At the foot of the mountain. The other courtyard of Xia Juanshuo's family is located here. The other courtyard covers a considerable area, with pavilions and towers hidden among red maple trees, unlike the luxurious courtyard that a county magistrate should have. However, if there are people from the martial arts world who are looking for high-level monks, they may also want to visit the prefect's mansion. They will find that there are at least hundreds of elite soldiers guarding this courtyard throughout the 4 summers. Even top-notch experts in the martial arts world cannot enter quietly. The inner courtyard of the county governor's mansion. A slender and graceful girl with a gentle appearance and graceful temperament was standing nervously and anxiously in front of the stone table in the pavilion. Half a green buttocks left the stone bench and stared closely at a poetry book called The Collection of Ancient Poetry. Holding a brush in his hand, he seemed to want to write and draw on the poetry book at any time. Miss, the lady asked me to deliver lotus seeds, soup. Ah, miss, you again. The 2 girls, who look exactly the same and are quite cute, walked into the yard where the young lady lived. As soon as the sisters saw that their young lady was facing the poem book again. Her buttocks were half sitting, half not sitting, with a nervous expression, indicating that she must have been fascinated by Kuang's ancient poetry. Just like when the young lady used to see Dream of the Red Chamber, her eyes turned red and she touched her tears with a handkerchief and called out to Lin Mimi. That's true. Miss always does this. Ah. The daughter of the county magistrate's family, Xia Weiner, later realized. After looking at the maid for a while, she hurriedly put down her brush. He covered the poetry book on the table with both hands and refused to show it to them at all. He also complained, Green bamboo, emerald bamboo, why are you here? You didn't say a word, it scared me. Evil people report first. Sister Green Bamboo gestured to her sister to put down the lotus seed soup and said angrily. Miss, please don't read those ancient poems and verses about women's grievances anymore. Madam just asked us, Miss, you've been daydreaming lately. Have you been fascinated by some wild scholar or rough warrior? Pooh. Xia Weiner blushed and spat before reaching out to pinch her maid's face. Miss Sueju put down the lotus seed soup and hugged Xia Wan'er's slender arm. Rubbing against the initial growth of her own lotus, shaking her arms back and forth, and coquettishly saying, "Miss, just tell me and my sister, we promise not to tell madam." "What are you saying?" Xia Wan'er's small face, which was as big as her palm, showed a pretentious expression of incomprehension, and her eyes blinked. But couldn't help but take out a poetry book and sneak a glance from the eyes of the two maids. On that page of Guofeng Xinan Quanshi, there is an additional line of characters from left to right. "Miss Xia, what time is it at your place now?" The shape is straight and neat, every stroke is neat and elegant, without any difference, which amazed Xia Wan'er. Time. She thought carefully before finding the source of the word. Refers to the current situation. However, she usually asks what time here. So what time do the immortals ask? Xia Wan'er was filled with joy and felt that she had learned another piece of knowledge. I can use it when writing novels and storybooks in the future. "Miss, what are you looking at?" Sueju stretched his neck to look. The sister on the side, Green Bamboo, was also quite curious and leaned in. 9. A Wonderful Marriage. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. Xia Wan'er immediately closed her poetry book, carefully gripping a page, ready to flip through it again at any time. The two twin maids looked at each other, and the sisters knew that the young lady must have an important secret, and they were hidden behind her back. "I'll tell madam." Sueju planned to go find madam, but his eyes were fixed on Xia Wan'er. "Don't go." Xia Wan'er quickly grabbed her and begged, "Dear Sueju, don't disturb your mother with these small matters. If she asks again, all you need to do is tell her that I am writing a novel book." Novelty books. The two maids were not surprised. After all, their young lady is truly an amazing presence. "I started speaking at the age of 1, learned to read at the age of 3, read the 4 books and 5 classics at the age of 5 or 6, and dared to continue writing Dream of the Red Chamber at the age of 13. It should be noted that Dream of the Red Chamber has been passed down for thousands of years, spanning dynasties, and countless people have read it, and many have attempted to continue writing it. Various versions emerge one after another, including works by talented scholars and beauties. However, when the Dream of the Red Chamber, half a book, created by their young lady was released, other versions of Dream of the Red Chamber were almost ignored. From nobles and nobles to impoverished scholars, from tea houses and alleys to martial arts sects, people are all vying to purchase and circulate. Countless people were amazed and praised Mr. Ban Shu's sequel for being even better than the original work. Chao Shuaqin, who was in heaven, should also feel relieved. If they knew that Mr. Ban Shu was actually Miss Ban Shu, they wouldn't know if he would be so scared that his chin would fall to the ground. It's just a novel book. Xia Wan'er nodded incessantly, her serious expression trying to conceal her inner tension. So. Green Bamboo didn't have any extra thoughts, and the young lady said she was writing a book, so she believed it. Sueju, on the other hand, was not easily fooled. She said with a strange expression, "Miss, are you writing about romantic matters?" "The matter of wind and moon?" asked the sister curiously. "What's the silly girl talking nonsense? Have you read that kind of book?" Xia Wan'er got angry and reached out to pat the bamboo. Cui Zhu quickly defended himself and said, "Woo, miss, I was wrong. I didn't read those books, really didn't read them. Yes, it was the matchmaker girl who told me that Mississippi. Anyway, I didn't read them." The master and servant continued to play and chat, hastily finishing their lotus seed soup. Xia Wan'er quickly saw off the two maids and then hid in her study. Pick up a brush and quickly write a few words on a piece of The Great World. 3/4 of an hour. I'm really sorry, the young lady was tired of trivial matters just now. Is Mr. Chen still here? Xia Wan'er waited anxiously, afraid that the lunar elder fairy would blame her. A month ago, she accidentally opened a book called Quangu Poetry Collection and found a red thread in an article called Guangshi. At first, she thought it was a bookmark she left behind when she was a child, but she had no memory at all. Because her bookmarks are all made of leaves without any red lines. But when Xia Wan'er picked up the red thread, something strange happened. The thread wrapped around her wrist and appeared line by line in the poetry book. Those words ask her name, birthday, parents, place of residence, and even strangely ask her about her views on heaven and earth. There are also some questions about whether the man has short hair and whether he has read the 4 books and 5 classics. Xia Wan'er was shocked and forgot to understand the red line. When she regained her senses, she vaguely understood something. If she untied the red line, all those words would disappear, and she would no longer encounter such strange matters of marriage. That's right, this is a marriage. The ancient red line will bring her a wonderful marriage. Xia Wan'er hesitated for a long time, after pondering over the words, finally decided to pick up a brush and answer each question carefully. Then, both the characters and the red line disappeared. After more than 20 days of waiting, Xia Wan'er finally saw a letter in her poetry book about the man she was destined for. Hello Miss Xia, let's take a look at Dream of the Red Chamber. Xia Wan'er was so shocked at the time that her mouth was wide open. 10, thousands of years later. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. She wrote Dream of the Red Chamber secretly, and even her father didn't know that the half-book master was her. Her father had also read her novel, continuation of the Dream of the Red Chamber, and praised it at the dinner table, making her mother cover her mouth and keep giggling, looking at her with teasing eyes. Xia Wan'er blushed as if she wanted to bury herself on the table. Later on, I realized that Mr. Chen probably learned about these things after seeing her personal introductions. Without a word, she directly sent Dream of the Red Chamber over. She also saw the background of Prince Chen behind her. However, many things she couldn't understand. Long river. Embodied in ease. The subsequent conversation made him even more confused. What ball is the earth? She knows, Hanlin Bachelor. But isn't he not taking the imperial examination? What strange character is 211? She later went to someone to thoroughly investigate and finally managed to figure out that 211 was the number from the western regions. It's okay, Miss Xia doesn't need to look at those things. Actually, I'm just an ordinary social animal. You're busy first, and I happen to take a shower too. Chen Gongzi's words made Xia Wan'er's face blush a bit. Even immortals don't mind telling people to take a shower themselves. Chen Gongzi. Xia Wan'er continued to write with a brush in excitement. What kind of poultry are social animals? Similar to rare birds and exotic animals in the classic of mountains and seas. Also, how does the steel bird fly? What kind of ball is Earth? She is too curious, she has been wanting to ask a lot of questions for a long time. Earth is the planet we live on, the earth beneath our feet. Steel bird is a transportation vehicle we make, similar to your carriage. As for what kind of poultry are social animals? Chen Huang was extremely embarrassed. Social animals are not poultry. Chen Huang quickly explained to this curious young lady. Just treat yourself as someone who is being squeezed in the heavenly realm. Xia Wan'er blinked, as if lost in thought. It seems that even the immortals in the sky will have troubles, just like Daiyu Baoyu's past life. The iron bird turned out to be a flying magic weapon, and the immortal is indeed powerful. Was the immortal realm originally called Earth? And it's circular, but our area is round with the sky and the earth. Chen Huan sat on the sofa, holding his phone and chatting with this talented woman from the state of Zhao. Explain technology to the ancients. Forget it. Let her understand first like this. Chen Huang curiously asked her. I have finished reading the Dream of the Red Chamber you wrote. Is the world over there also missing the Dream of the Red Chamber? There are many differences between the two worlds, but the subsequent dozens of episodes of Dream of the Red Chamber have also been lost. The world that the young master said refers to the state of Zhao. Xia Wana wrote, "The Dream of the Red Chamber has been lost for a long time, and has been continued by people throughout dynasties." The young woman only sorted out the works of her predecessors and added some crude insights, which made the young master laugh. Her speech was fluent, as if she was a bit shy. No, Miss Xia is still very talented. No one here has the ability to continue the Dream of the Red Chamber, and there is no literary talent to write about it. The young master praised me. In the study, Xia Wan'er's face was flushed. The small face was filled with a smile, and the eyebrows were curved. Unexpectedly, like Daiyu Baoyu, a fairy from the illusion also loves to watch Dream of the Red Chamber and admires her as a sequel. Chen Huang proposed. "Miss Xia, you have already shown me Dream of the Red Chamber, and I will also give you some things. How about that? Send me a gift." Xia Wana gradually became accustomed to chatting with Chen Huang in written vernacular, and was surprised. "The meaning is, Chen Gongzi, would you like to give me a precious item from the immortal family?" Chen Huang couldn't help but cry and laugh, quickly tapping the screen. "You can think of me as someone thousands of years later, the world thousands of years later. Thousands of years later. I'm afraid so too." Xia Wana returned to him. Chen Huang finally patted her head, forgetting that the world she lived in had never had much development, and the feudal period lasted for tens of thousands of years. Imagine that people can use the power of lightning to excavate a large amount of iron, silver, coal, and create many things. The roads here are spacious, and the lights are shining brightly at night.